G'day everyone, Craigo here, back in the garage. It's a fairly cool but beautiful day outside, middle of winter here in Melbourne. Got Rosie here, help me out today. We're going to sharpen some chisels. Using reasonably cheap equipment, not any fancy, really fancy whetstones. I do have a whetstone, but it's only a cheapie. It's one I bought, I'll show you, it's one I bought in when I worked in Canada, and as you can see, it's fairly old, and but does the job. So yeah, we'll get stuck into it. So as you can see, I've got a few chisels. Most of them are fairly old. Some I've picked up from garage sales, all rusty, and some like these EA Berg something or others from Sweden. These were my father's. So yeah, it's hard to pick up on the camera, but that tip does have a few chips in it. So it's pretty much a three-step process to sharpen a chisel. You have to grind the tip across there flat to get rid of any of those chips, and then you back grind it to get the initial bevel, and then you whetstone it with the this one. And then you hone it on a oil stone or water stone. So we'll start with this one. I've got about 30 chisels here to sharpen, so it's going to take me all day, but we'll start with this one, and we'll show you how it's done. So these ones aren't too bad. They haven't got too many massive chips in them. So we just want to check with something straight that edge is actually straight, not angled, straight and square. No gaps, that means it's straight. So now that we've got, obviously our edge is flat now, you can see that. And that front edge is about 1 millimetre wide, maybe even less, which is good. The less the better. The less, obviously the less metal you have to remove from the chisel to sharpen it. So next bit, if it was a really big flat edge that we had to take down, if there was a massive chip out of it, I'd then hit that on the angle grinder at an angle, so the grinding wheel is taking that off and get it a bit closer to that edge. But because it's about 1/2 mil actually, I'm just going to go straight to the wet stone on the angle grinder, which is it's a torquier, lower spinning wheel, and it's also water lubricated, so it keeps the steel cool. That's a crucial part sharpening chisels. You don't want to heat it up on the bench grinder. That's why I've got a little tub of water there to keep dipping it, because if it goes blue, the metal softens, and you've basically lost that nice hardened steel edge on the chisel, which obviously means it's going to blunten faster. Fill the well, and away we go. Now a lot of the fancier tool sharpening wheels, they've got brackets that you clamp the chisel into and makes it quite easy. This is a bit more difficult. you need to be a bit more patient. Just getting the whetstone edge on the chisel, but essentially it does the same job. You see I'm moving back and forth across the wheel. That's just to keep this whetstone flat. You don't want to, especially with narrow chisels, you don't want to, I'll grab a narrow chisel, show you. That's a 1/4 inch. You don't want to just get in there and just jam it in the middle, or your wheel will end up with a big hollow in it, which makes it extremely difficult to sharpen wide chisels. So I'm using all the wheel as I do it. And this could take a while. You can see it's already, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's already coming good. It's already starting to take steel off. So the idea is with this one, we get that 1/2 mm flat edge right down to 0 basically. Once we've got to there, then it's honing on the whetstone. So I'll keep going here and I'll get back to you once this one's done. Oh, we're done. So don't know if you can see that or not, but that flat edge that was there, sorry my fingernails are a bit long, that flat edge is gone. We've ground using the whetstone. That's all nice and neat and ground down to where it needs to be. So then we go over and hit it with the well, you can use an oil stone or a whetstone, water stone, which I'll show you next. Alrighty guys, so here we have it. My old oil stone from when I was an apprentice. I made that. This is fairly coarse. Well, it's fine. It's double-sided. You can see it's got a coarse side, which I very, very rarely use, and a finer side. So what I do, I take the burrs, because you will get some burrs on the back side of that chisel. I give that an initial, just a quick once over on the oil stone. Then I get the water stone out, which is double-sided. It's got 1000 grit on the dark side, 4000 on the white side. 4000 is the finest grit I've got. You can get finer, but I've found that's more than sufficient to get an edge you can shave with on your chisels. Oil stone, I just use WD-40 as a lubricant. Have ever since I started sharpening them, and it works perfectly fine. But we will get some water in here to get this started to wet down. As you can see, it's going to suck up a lot of moisture. Spilling a bit. I'm probably going to have to refill this mug actually. It's going to suck up a lot of moisture while that's doing its thing. So get the initial edge on the chisel. We need to get this sitting flat on that edge. So I just put it flat like that and then tilt it up to there. And then we go up about another 5 degrees to there. So go for once again, flat, up to where that grinding angle is, which is about 25-30 degrees, something like that. And then about another 5 degrees from there. And we just go back and forth fairly lightly. You don't need much weight on it. Once again, you use all of the stone, the full length and the full width, and that's all you need on that. Now it's going to have a big burr on the back from where you've been doing that, so then you lay it flat, and again very lightly flat on that, and that's all that should need. So I'll wipe it off, and you'll probably find that's pretty sharp as it is, but I'm going to hit it with the water stone as well. So I don't know if you can see that on the camera. can just see that little white edge, that's the different angle that we've got. So essentially with the Waterstone, it's the same thing. Just lay it on the angle first and tilt it up another 5 and just back and forth. Now the finer the grit you go, the lighter you want to put pressure on the chisel, on the stone. And you want to make sure that you never twist that, because if you dig an edge of your chisel in, you're going to stuff your stone up, but also potentially bugger up your chisel too. So once again, lay it flat. Hang on, I'll split this up. Back and forth. That's all that should need. We'll just go back one more time to take some burrs off. Now you can use a strop leather thing, or your pants, or if you've got rough ugly hands like me, you can very carefully go back and forth like that, and that will take off any fine burrs. But that's should be pretty good. I don't know if it's, yeah, that's taken hairs off, and I haven't even spun it around to the 4,000 grit yet. So we'll do that next. Spin the Waterstone around, make sure that side's nice and wet, and this will be our final sharpen. So once again, flat to that 25-30 degrees, go another 5. It's nice and easy. And you will feel there is just a slight burr on the back once again. So then we go back and forth on nice and flat. And I quite often just do one more just to take any burrs off. And there you have it, razor sharp chisel. Taking hairs off. So I've just grabbed another chisel that I've done and or done on the bench grinder, and I'll show you. It's really important using these whetstones, especially using narrow chisels, that you keep them very flat, because it's very easy to get a bit of rock on those and put a big gouge in your whetstone, which is not what you want to do. So once again, chisel flat up to that edge, you can feel it, then go another 5 degrees, very lightly back and forth. Once again, try to use as much width and length of the stone as you can, and that's got a little edge on it. You will feel that burr. That's all we need with that, and it's onto the whetstone. Now, if you're not comfortable doing it by hand, keeping the angle, because a lot of people will do that, and then that angle that you're trying to hone on it will change. So it's really important that you get that and you hold that angle all the way through. If you're not up to doing that, there are attachments, and I've got one somewhere around here. I'll dig it out and show you. There are attachments that you can clamp your chisel to. It has a little wheel on it, and you can roll back and forth. Now, the disadvantage to that is obviously with the attachment, you're not using the full width of your oil stone, so you sort of got to be a bit conscious that are spinning the oil stone or water stone around. So your wearing it down as evenly as you can. This one I've had since I was an apprentice, so I've had that about, what's that, nearly 40 years, I suppose, 35 years, and it's still reasonably flat. It's got a little hollow in the middle, but not enough to make it difficult to put a proper edge on. So there you have it, guys. It's not all that difficult. You do need some basic tools, bench grinder. If you don't have a whetstone attached to your bench grinder, if you've got a bench grinder with two different wheels, a coarse wheel and a fine wheel, you can get it close to that angle on the coarse wheel and then just get it close to the edge using the fine wheel. Make sure you're dipping the chisel in water every couple of strokes on the wheel so it doesn't overheat. And grab yourself just a cheap oil stone or water stone. You might not get them sharp enough to shave your hand or your face with, but you should get them sharp enough to do some pretty good carpentry. That's it. If you've got any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll keep bringing out some more content. Thanks, guys.